to another episode.
The Lyrical Breakdown. I was going to say, welcome back.
Oh, yeah. Welcome
For a
back,
short little break.
guys. Yep. Yeah, a little break.
Yeah.
It was kind of
Hope
nice.
everyone had a wonderful holiday season.
Hopefully. We did.
Yeah, it was good. So, but now back to the grind.
Back to the grind.
So, no more holidays for a while.
Nope. Not until, I don't even know when.
Yeah. Really.
I mean, I have like 2 days coming up here soon,
Yeah.
but that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
So
it'll
it'll
be
be
nice.
like a little mini holiday.
Yeah. Then, I'm back to the grind on our podcast.
Yep. So I'll be doing some more on my 2 days coming
Mhm.
up. I'm going to be recording some more. So hopefully
Yeah.
they'll keep coming out weekly.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. And we might have a couple, like, we're looking for a house now. We got pre-approved. So,
Right.
woohoo. So, you know, there might be a time or two where
Right.
I just can't make that happen because if we're moving, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's understandable, though.
yeah.
But then we'd be able to have our own actual,
Podcast room.
an actual
Yeah.
little
That'd be kind of
studio
nice.
room. So that'd be sweet.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. So, we're on episode 24 now.
24.
Yep.
What do you have for us today?
So, I've just now discovered this little band called Alice in Chains.
Which is crazy because we've been married for like almost 20 years.
And I know
I
you've
listened
had it,
to 'em.
I know, and you've had it in the car and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and I've listened, but I guess I haven't really listened.
Right.
Like, I knew of the songs, but I didn't really realize I liked them so much.
hmm
So I've been listening to them on Spotify and just kind of rediscovering, and
Yeah.
shaking my head on not really listening to them when I was
yeah.
listening to MTV when they would have been on.
Yeah.
But I think, like,
There's
you would
such
play a lot of other stuff. Like Nirvana was so big,
Yeah.
and that's the ones they would play all the time.
Right.
I didn't really discover them.
Yeah. That's
What a
It
shame.
happens. But,
Yep. But now I now get to enjoy them.
Right.
So.
And there's so many great songs by them.
Mm-hmm. And they're still going. I mean, not the original band, but they're
Right.
still going. So,
Mhm.
you know, I haven't listened to any of the new stuff, just the old stuff. And
That's the
'cause-
best stuff.
yeah. So I like it a lot.
I know the one newer album I got. It was like the first one they released when they kind of came up with the new
Mhm.
lineup. Yes, that's not bad, but it's just, to me, it's just not Alice in Chains.
Right.
Even though Jerry Cantrell was a huge part of it.
Yeah, like huge.
I don't know. It's just not the same.
Right.
But I'm glad they're still going. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
cool. Still good
Mhm.
music, but it's just
Right.
it's not
So
same.
for this one, we're going to do Down in a Hole.
okay.
And this has got to be my favorite song so far.
Yeah,
Like, I just really like it.
it is a very good
I
song.
like how they both sing it
Mm-hmm.
together. I like the album version and I like the unplugged version a lot.
Right.
So, you know, I'm kind of like both of them are just equally
Mm-hmm.
good in my opinion. So, the songwriter for this was Jerry Cantrell and the album was Dirt and it came out in 1992. Now, to be fair, I was only 12 when this album
No
came out.
excuses.
So,
No excuses.
I was just getting into music and stuff
Mm.
by the time they
Right.
were getting like really known and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's probably why I missed them.
But they were out
so-
before that too, because they had like Facelift was a pretty decent album.
Yeah, they were out before that. Yeah, but I was even younger then, so
Right.
understandable why I didn't discover them.
I mean, Dirt is what made them blow up. But
Right. So yeah, and the drink of the day.
what is your concoction?
It's just called an Amaretto Spritzer. So you can make this with Amaretto and then 7-Up or Sprite. And so I did Sprite Zero. So that's
Right.
it.
You got to be healthy when you're drinking your alcohol.
Right. New Year's resolution was to be healthier, right?
Right. If you're gonna drink, just don't get fat while you drink. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's really good.
Mhm.
I like it. So
You're a big fan of Amaretto, so
I am. I like everything Amaretto. So this is actually really refreshing.
mm-hmm.
It's not
Yeah.
a lot of calories in mine because it's just, the amaretto, and I don't know how much calories are in that. So it's like a guilt-free drink, this one.
Yeah.
This is
That's
really
true.
awesome. So, yay to that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really go wrong with that one.
Okay.
And she just splashed
It was like
amaretto.
3 to 4 ounces, and he told me that I was just basically putting like a drop in each
Yeah.
time. That's
Like
not true.
you kind of could have used just an eyedropper the way you were doing it. Like you're like a blip.
I
How's
didn't.
that? I'm like, no.
Well, I didn't want to go too far, and like all of a sudden, all of it is dumping in, and I've now got 6 ounces versus like 3 to 4.
Well, 6
I
is better
was
than 2.
scared to go too far.
We got it though,
We got it.
eventually.
All right. So
So what's the plan? It's been a while since we've done these, so
I'm gonna really.
you gonna read it?
I'm gonna read through the lyrics. Even though you knew this guitar riff, I guess that's what you say.
I have played this on my guitar several times in
I
front of you.
need to learn how the lyrics and sing the lyrics, and then maybe someday we'll do a podcast where I'm just singing some of the songs we previously did. I don't know. I'm not a singer, but I like to sing,
Yeah,
so
you're good at it.
maybe it would work one day. We'll see.
I can't remember how to play the like chorus and stuff.
Well, then you'll have to learn that before we do that.
Yeah.
So, but all right. So, down in a hole. Bury me softly in this womb. I give this part of me for you. Sand rains down, and here I sit, holding rare flowers in a tomb in bloom. Down in a hole, and I don't know if I can be saved. See my heart, I decorate it like a grave. You don't understand who they thought I was supposed to be. Look at me now, a man who won't let himself be. Down in a hole, losing my soul. Down in a hole, losing control. I'd like to fly, but my wings have been so denied. Down in a hole, and they've put all the stones in their place. I've eaten the sun so my tongue has been burned of the taste. I have been guilty of kicking myself in the teeth. I will speak no more my feelings beneath. Down in a hole, losing my soul. Down in a hole, losing control. I'd like to fly, but my wings have been so denied. Bury me softly in this womb. Oh, I want to be inside of you. I give this part of me for you. Oh, I want to be inside of you. Sand rains down, and here I sit, holding rare flowers in a tomb. Oh, I want to be inside of you. Oh, I want to be inside. Down in a hole, losing my soul. Down in a hole, feeling so small. Down in a hole, losing my soul. Down in a hole, out of control. I'd like to fly, but my wings have been so denied.
Very well read.
Thanks.
So what's your first impression? Like what's
Like, literally, they're down in a hole, and, like, I don't know if it's they are feeling like they are getting buried and they might not come out of it. I don't know. Or they're burying somebody else. I have no idea. I'm really bad with these songs.
I don't think it's literal they're in a hole. I don't think they're mining or anything like that.
That
Like
feeling.
it could go a couple of different ways, I think, but to me it's more like someone's like you're down in a hole, you're kind of stuck a little bit, like you're lost almost, as we go through the lyrics we'll break it down a little bit, but someone like he's stuck, like he can't get out of this hole that he kind of dug himself into,
Right.
but more of a mentally thing
Oh, okay.
than physical,
Oh,
like
okay.
in his backyard or something. But I did read what it was about.
And we're way off topic, aren't we?
It's no, I don't think so. Well, you are. I don't.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it wasn't about digging a well or nothing.
Oh, okay.
But it's not quite what I thought it was. But it's very easy. Like knowing that Jerry Cantrell wrote it,
Yeah.
which he wrote most of this album, except for like 2 songs. um, is different. But as someone who doesn't know that, like if you come in, you see Lane singing it, you know, in the way he always has his portrays his pain and stuff like that. It's almost like because he does talk about a grave part, you know,
Yeah,
it feels like
so
it's like death or something.
yeah.
Um, but I don't think it is that. I think, especially coming from Jerry, I think it was more about kind of
Losing somebody? No?
maybe. But to me, it's more like just a struggle of life, kind of
Oh, okay.
like you're, you know. Anyways, we'll break it down.
Okay,
Let's
let's
go
break
through
it
it, and then
down.
I can explain
Okay.
my
You can
reasoning.
clarify it for me.
Bury me softly in this womb. Now I don't really understand what the womb part. I'm sure it makes sense to somebody.
Well, it probably makes sense to Jerry unless it just sounded right.
Well, I mean, it probably it sounded cool.
Bury me softly in this womb.
Yeah,
I mean,
I give this part of me for you. So I mean, the womb, I think it's not like an actual womb. It's metaphorical.
well, obviously.
I mean, maybe he wants to be in the womb. I don't
Maybe. Maybe his mom is
know.
his mother. I don't know.
So bury me softly in this womb. I give this part of me for you. So I give this part of me for you. I think he's, to me, it's maybe his heart or something like that. He's given something. Sand rains down, and here I sit, holding rare flowers in the tomb in bloom.
Bloom.
The in bloom is very subtle.
Yeah, it is.
Like for the longest time, you never really even know it's there. Like
Well,
like in the
because
album,
well, because
Jerry just
yeah, Jerry just sort of like really low, like the lowest he can go. Says in bloom.
right. You know, of course, Jerry and I are on first name basis, so
Right.
that's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
Down in a hole. Well, hold on, man. Let's back train up here.
Yeah, I didn't start going on, but
Hey,
let's
slow
back
down.
up.
Slow down. You know, the sand rains down, and here I sit, holding rare flowers in the tomb. But so I mean, it's very literal. That's why you think, you know, of Lane singing or something like, you know, he kind of foreshadowed himself or something.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know, I think it's just that whole. You feel like you're like at a dead end or something, maybe.
Okay.
You know, like you're just the whole stuck and you can't do
You
anything. So
can't-
it's like
And you
this
can't
is
move.
it.
It's coming down on you, and you
Yeah.
can't really get yourself out.
Down in a hole, and I don't know if I can be saved. See, that's kind of like the whole. Just I'm sinking. I'm like struggling. See my heart. I decorate it like a grave. So I think he's just heartbroken, maybe,
Could be. Yeah.
or just heartbroken of some sort. Who knows from what? But you
Yeah,
don't
because I don't know how you would decorate it. I mean, like some people leave flowers, some people leave
So basically, like,
coins.
decorate his heart like a grave. So basically, like he's, you know, his heart is dead, kind of. You know what I mean? Like he's just there's nothing left in his
Okay.
for anybody else, maybe or something.
Could be.
You don't understand who they thought I was supposed to be. Look at me now, a man who won't let himself be. So I mean, that could be taken, you know, whatever way you want. But I think you don't understand who they thought I was supposed to be.
So somebody else, like maybe a doctor or something, and but
I mean,
anything like that. That's what I'm
Right, or-
saying.
you could say that to your parents. You know, I mean, like you don't understand who they thought I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me now, a man who won't let himself be. So now he's like, maybe
Hiding who he is.
because of that, he didn't have that support, maybe or whatever. So now he's, you know, he's not pursuing like his passion or whatever. You know, it's not the man he's would like to have been.
Right.
But that's kind of I like that line though. It's good. Down in the hole, losing my soul. Down in the hole, losing control. So he's just losing who he is, basically.
Right.
I'd like to fly, but my wings have been so denied. So it's almost like been suppressed, kind of like, no, you can't be that, or you can't be a rock star, or you can't
Right.
do this, or you can't pursue that passion, kind of thing. That's kind of the more I dig into it, it's kind of the way I take it.
Yeah.
I think it's being suppressed by somebody. That could have been parents, it could have been a lover, it could have been
Could have been the record label. I don't know.
Right, yeah. Down in a hole, and they put all the stones in their place. I've eaten the sun, so my tongue has been burned of the taste. I like that line. That's cool.
I do like it, but what does it mean?
I think to me, it's like it's something you want, maybe like something you want so bad. Like maybe I want to be a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden I become a rock star, and I can't stand the fame, and I can't stand the constant traveling. You know, I mean, like
mm-hmm. Like there's downsides to what you wanted, and
right.
Now you know that.
It's like I've eaten the sun, but now my tongue has been burned to the taste. Like it's not what I expected. It's
right.
like, or they're kind of ruined. That's my take.
Well, it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm right, but no, I've been guilty of kicking myself in the teeth. It's basically just knocking himself down, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I will speak no more of my feelings beneath.
I get that one.
That's good. I do like it though. It's like finally he's like going through all this, and he's like, I will speak no more of my feelings. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I told him to say what I had to say.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying I get that one, because there's been lots of times where I'm like, okay, that's it. No, I'm not going to say anything anymore.
Right.
I let it be known what I want. I'm not going to get it, so I'm done.
I wet my whistle.
Wet your whistle with this yummy, yummy drink.
Even though I can't whistle.
I can't either. I wish.
Yeah. All right. So we're halfway through. We're getting this figured out.
Yeah.
Down in a hole, losing my soul. Down in a hole, losing control. I'd like to fly, but my wings have been so denied. Bury me softly in this womb. Oh, I want to be inside of you. I give this part of me for you. Oh, I want to be inside of you. It's like I give this part of me for you. It's like giving up his what he wants to be, or maybe. Or I'm just kind of looking at it from a musician standpoint. Maybe it has nothing to do with being a musician, but being a musician wrote it. That makes sense.
Yeah, that does. Like he is burying his soul for people.
Yeah, it's like deep down he wants to go pursue this, but maybe for a lover or parents or whatever, he's not pursuing it, so he's just kind of lost. Where was I? Sand rains down, and here I sit, holding rare flowers in a tune. Oh, I want to be inside of you. Oh, I want to be inside. And then down in a hole, losing my soul. Down in a hole, feeling so small. Down in a hole, losing my soul. Down in a hole, out of control. I'd like to fly, but my wings have been so denied.
So feeling so small, he added that in there too.
Yeah.
And like I think we've all been there. Sometimes you're like somebody just makes you feel like you aren't worthless.
Right.
And you kind of shrink a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I thought I was doing so good, and now you're making me feel like total and utter crap.
Right.
But,
yeah. I mean, so I don't have like a precise. I don't think it's like a story or nothing. I think it's just that feeling of, for whatever it could be. I mean, it could be used in your life kind of however you wanted it to, but and we've all been there. You all go to work every day, and you're like, I should be doing something way better than this, but you're stuck there. So like you lose your soul. You're kind of just like mindless and So I mean, I think it could be work related and pursuing your passion. You want to be an artist, and but everybody says that you can't make a living as an artist, so you just go get a job, and then.
Or even if you're an artist, but you want to do like something a little bit different, sometimes they tell you, no, you can't do that. You have to stick with this.
Right.
So even with the people that are artists, or even like movie stars and stuff, you see them and you're like, they're living in this grand lifestyle, but they might be being told they can't do something else that they really want to do.
Right.
So then they're in the same boat as we are sometimes. Like they want to pursue more.
Yeah, they want to take on a, suspenseful movie, but they're a comedian, so they can't get those roles and stuff like that. I mean,
so we all struggle in different ways, no matter what lifestyle we come from.
Right.
So It's a good song for sure. I
Mm-hmm.
really like it. I like how they both sing it.
I did just do a quick little Google.
Google. What's
Used
Google have
used
to
up the
say?
Google, and says Jerry Cantrell wrote this about the love of his life, Courtney Clark. The song encompasses all of the insecurities and self doubt inherited in a relationship.
Mm.
But it doesn't really go in major details. Like it
Right.
does say with singer Lane Staley singing the lyrics, this could have been seen as a foreshadowing of his death from a drug overdose.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which is kind of weird. I mean, that's kind of what I always thought.
this was written pretty early too. I know.
It was.
Not, I'm
Like,
sure he was, but I don't think he was he was nowhere near. Obviously, that stage like where he did Unplugged, where he looks like he's
right, yeah.
about to.
Yeah, because this was in 1992. Probably got written maybe 1990-ish, 1991, something like that. And he died in 2002.
So this place here it says, this is a quote from Jerry Cantrell, is that it's the reality of my life, the path I have chosen, and in a weird way, it kind of foretold where we are right now. It's hard for us both to understand that this life is not conducive to much success with long-term relationships. So, like, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, so interesting. But I mean, I would have never seen it as a love song.
No, I wouldn't have either.
But
I can see how he could write it that way, and it was.
Yeah, it can.
But it's also it can be like, if you wanted to say it was foreshadowing on Laney's fault or on whatever, yeah. So it could be taken a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of this song.
That's a well-written song, is it can be, used in your life at any point in time where you're at. It could.
I mean, there are songs out there where people will use a song at a wedding, and then that same song can be used at a funeral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it just takes on two different meanings. It could be about life, and it could be, well, both are about life because you're usually celebrating the life that's lost. But it could be like more mellow in the funeral setting, but yet uplifting in the wedding setting. So it's weird.
Right.
So, if you're in a rock or live under a rock like I did for so many years, and you want to learn a little bit more about Alice in Chains, here's your chance.
All right, let's history lesson.
History lesson. Alice in Chains is an American rock band from Seattle, Washington, formed in 1987 by guitarist and vocalist Jerry Cantrell and drummer Sean Kinney. Now, Seattle has given us a lot of many great bands. Do they still give us great bands?
No.
No? Nothing great
I don't
coming out
so.
of Seattle anymore?
No.
We need to go back to the grunge movement. Can we have that happen? That'd be pretty cool.
I don't think you can just go back to the grunge movement.
Why?
Because it was just
the
era. It was, everything was taken over by like hair metal and all that crap, and then these guys are just in their own world doing their own thing, and then
that's what we need again, though. We need a distraction, and so we need like a good grunge band.
I mean, I'm down because that was my jam. Yeah. That's what I got into music in the 90s.
Distract us again from life. All right, so they later recruited bassist Mike Starr and lead vocalist Lane Staley. Starr was replaced by Mike Inez in 1993, and then William Duvall joined the band in 2006 as co-lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist, replacing Staley, who died in 2002. The band took its name from Staley's previous group, the glam metal band Alice in Chains. So it's an N. Alice in Chains.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. Often associated with grunge music, Alice in Chains sound incorporates heavy metal elements. The band is known for its distinctive vocal style, which often included the harmonized vocals between Staley and Cantrell.
And that is the key to Alice in Chains.
Yes.
And like it didn't
such a good job.
And I was younger, and pay attention to that kind of stuff, but you don't realize that Jerry Cantrell was such a powerful part as far as singing wise.
Right.
I remember when I was like when Unplugged came out, that's when I really clicked on because you see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like holy crap! Like Cantrell like sing half the song, and you go back to the albums and you could hear it,
Mm-hmm.
but their voices were like different, but they're almost so similar at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like perfect combination of the two voices.
Right.
So
It really was.
yeah.
I liked it a lot. In fact, actually, there's a few parts where Cantrell, I kind of like Cantrell over
Mm-hmm.
Lane, but just
Well, yeah.
there's moments where I like one, and then I like
Mhm.
both of them, but you know what I mean. There's just
Yeah.
moments where you're like, ooh, that's a sweet spot. That was nice.
When you get like Lane going, like you feel like the pain and everything
Mhm.
from Lane. You know, I mean,
Right.
but
So Alice in Chains rose to international fame as part of the grunge movement of the early 1990s, along with other Seattle bands such as Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and Soundgarden. They achieved success during the era with the albums Facelift in 1990, Dirt in 1992, Alice in Chains 1995, as well as the EP Jar of Flies in 1994. Although never officially disbanding, Alice in Chains was plagued by extended inactivity from 1996 onward due to Staley's substance abuse, which resulted in his death in 2002. A little bit. Now we kind of go to the early years. Like, so usually I'll give you a little synopsis of it, and then they go to the early years.
synopsis.
So, Staley met guitarist Jerry Cantrell at a party in Seattle around August 1987. A few months before that, Cantrell had watched a concert of Staley's then band Alice in Chains in his hometown at the Tacoma Little Theater. Tacoma, that's where you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Tacoma, Washington.
I could have been there.
You could have.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
And was impressed by his voice. Cantrell was homeless after being kicked out of his family's house, so Staley invited Cantrell to live with him at the rehearsal studio Music Bank, and the two struggling musicians became roommates. Kind of interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Staley's funk band also required a guitarist at the time, and Staley asked Cantrell to join as a sideman. Cantrell agreed on condition that Staley join his band. Because Cantrell Starr and Kinney wanted Staley to be their lead singer, they started auditioning terrible lead singers in front of Staley to send a hint. The last straw for Staley was when they auditioned a male stripper. He decided to join the band after that. Eventually, the funk project broke up, and in 1987, Staley joined Cantrell's band on a full-time basis. Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're gonna... And I could just see them, like, discussing, like, hey, let's get the worst singers ever, because we
Right.
really want Staley to join us.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that male stripper can come.
That's
I
funny.
could just imagine it. So, that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else? What else do I have? So, after the release of Jar on the Flies, which was in 1994, Staley entered a rehab for heroin addiction, which is not a good thing to get addicted to, that's for sure. The band was scheduled to tour during the summer of 1994 with Metallica, Suicidal Tendencies, Danzig. I've never heard of them.
What? Mother?
Stop.
The song Mother? Mother.
Oh, maybe I have.
You've heard that song.
Yeah. And Flight, as well as a slot during the Woodstock 94. But while in rehearsal for the tour, Staley began using heroin again. So the band broke up for 6 months. While Alice in Chains was inactive during 1995, Staley joined the grunge supergroup Mad Season, which is what you have in the car, do you not?
Mm-hmm.
Which also featured Pearl Jam guitarist Mike McCready, bassist John Baker Sanders from the Walkabouts, and Screaming Trees drummer Barrett Martin. Mad Season released one album, Above, for which Staley provided lead vocals and the album work. So, you like that album, don't you?
It was a fantastic album.
Alice in Chains resurfaced on April 10th, 1996 to perform their first concert in 2.5 years for MTV Unplugged. So that was in 1996. And Staley didn't look like... he looked like he had still been having troubles.
Yeah. It
Because he
definitely not
just.
like a fresh out of rehab, like
No,
unhealthy
no, no,
look.
no, no.
It was very struggle.
The performance featured some of the band's highest charting singles, including Rooster, Down in a Hole, Heaven Beside You, No Excuses, and Wood, and introduced a new song, Killer Is Me, with Cantrell on lead vocals. That is one of my favorite unplugged
Oh,
episodes out there. I really loved
absolutely.
it. They did
I mean,
really good.
Nirvana did a hell of a job.
Yeah, they
I
did
love
too.
Nirvana's Unplugged, but
But this one took the
yeah.
cake on the best unplugged, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Alice in Chains performed 4 shows supporting the reunited original Kiss lineup on their 1996-97 Alive Worldwide tour, including the final live appearance of Lane Staley on July 3rd, 1996, in Kansas City, Missouri. Shortly after the show, Staley was found unresponsive after an overdose on heroin and was taken to a hospital. Although he recovered, the band was forced to go on hiatus. So, here he is once again having drug problems, and
Mm-hmm.
he overdosed, and that still didn't stop him. Although Alice in Chains never officially disbanded, Staley became a recluse, rarely leaving his Seattle condominium following the death of his ex-fiancée, Demery Parrott, due to a drug overdose on October 29th, 1996. So he had his overdose in July, and she had her overdose in October and actually died.
Hmm.
So that's kind of interesting. Um, drug drugs worked for me for years, Staley told Rolling Stone in February 1996, and now they're turning against me. Now I'm walking through hell and this sucks. I didn't want my fans to think that heroin was cool. But then I've had fans come up to me and give me the thumbs up telling me they're high. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. So it's so weird because he admits like he knows he has a problem,
Mm-hmm.
but he just can't stop it. Or there's like no need or want to stop it. It's so weird. It's hard to like put yourself in
Yeah, I've never
that
been addicted to
mindset.
heroin, so
Yeah.
but
So it's just so weird because he knows,
mm-hmm.
and he said like this will be the death of me before
Mm-hmm.
like there's like commentary out there that he had admitted that this will be the death of him. So in October 1998, Staley reunited with Ellen Chains to record 2 new songs, Get Born Again and Died, originally intended for Cantrell's second solo album, because he had, on this hiatus, he had done his own solo stuff. The songs were reworked by Alice in Chains and were released in the fall of 1999 on the box set Music Bank. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
After a decade of battling drug addiction, Lane Staley was found dead in his condominium in Seattle on April 19th, 2002. The autopsy and toxicology report on Staley's body revealed that he died from a mixture of heroin and cocaine known as a speedball. Oh, I didn't know what that was. Now I do.
Mm-hmm.
The autopsy concluded that Staley died on April 5th, 2 weeks before his body was found. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Mike Starr later claimed on Celebrity Rehab that he was the last person to see Staley alive and admitted to feeling guilty about not calling 911 after Staley had warned him against it. I wish I hadn't been high on benzodiazepine that night. I wouldn't have just walked out of the door, Starr said. And Starr later died, didn't he, of his
Mm-hmm.
own drug
Oh
overdose?
yeah, I believe so.
Reflecting on the
90s.
band's hiatus in 2011 interview, Kinney said that Staley wasn't the only one battling addiction. He was the focal point like singers are, so they'd single him out. But the truth was, it was pretty much everybody. I definitely had my hand firmly on the wheel going off the cliff. And the reason we pulled back, when you stop, when you have 2 number 1 records, it's not really the greatest career move, but we did that because we love each other and we didn't want to die in public. And I know for a fact that in my heart that if we were to continue that, I wouldn't be on the phone right now talking to you. I wouldn't have made it. I just wouldn't have. So that he wasn't. So Lane wasn't the only one that had drug issues.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
of the other
Starr
ones
died
did.
in 2011
Okay, so
of
yeah,
a prescription drug overdose.
Yeah, because he was on benzo. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then let's see, what did they say? So, like for a whole year, Lane had like he'd been a recluse in this condominium. The only person aside from Star then coming in to visit him that one night before he died, the only person that had been in and out basically was his drug dealer,
Mm-hmm.
and he was spending thousands every month on these drugs, and that's basically all he was doing. He wasn't really eating because the autopsy report also said that he was down to like 80 pounds.
That's crazy.
So he's basically only doing drugs. And like his family said, they had tried to, you know, reach out to him a few times. I don't think he had any animosity towards his like family, so I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that was the issue. I just think he wanted to be alone and he wanted to. There was also like reports that towards the end of the time he had talked about his that girlfriend that had died
Mm-hmm.
and that he had been seeing her and that he felt she was there to guide him to the other side, which is weird. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody could have saved him. I think he was beyond saving.
Yeah. At that point, yeah.
Yeah, no intervention.
The only thing he could have done was lock him away in a room or something, and
He probably would have died anyways from the like he was
yeah.
only 80 pounds, and then if you go into withdrawal at 80, I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm not a doctor, but
Right.
it would have been a rough
Yeah, for
even
sure.
try to save. So, what a bummer,
Yeah.
because he really was talented.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but Alice in Chains kept on trucking. They're still
Mm-hmm.
going, and Cantrell is really talented. So,
Oh, yeah, I love.
I mean, and he was most of the time I say, like, if the lead singer dies, I don't really think a band should go on. I think
Mm-hmm.
they should start as something else. But in this case, Cantrell was basically the one
Mate.
that wrote most of the songs, and
Right.
like his heart was a lot of this band. Like he was a big, huge part of it. So in this case, because he also was a lead vocalist, in my opinion,
Yeah.
he sang a lot. I think it's okay to
Mm-hmm.
replace Lane and then keep the band going.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of me is like, well, you can't replace Lane. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other part is like they're still bringing Alice in Chains the music to new generations and out touring,
Right.
and
Yep.
even us older farts that grew up on them and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Yeah.
I mean
So
that's cool. I mean I'm glad they're doing what they're doing. It's not quite the same, but it's almost better than nothing. So
yeah, exactly.
you know,
So
and Jerry's always been like a huge influence on my guitar playing and stuff. Just his guitar work is
yeah,
awesome.
I really liked how he sounds and what
Mm-hmm.
he does and stuff. So yeah, he's really talented.
Yep. Yep.
So check them out if you haven't.
Yep. And if you know them very well, then listen to them anyways.
Yeah, keep listening to them
Yeah.
and check out the drink of the day, the Amaretto Spritzer. It's
Mm-hmm.
very refreshing. I finished mine,
Yeah, me too.
which is the first. I don't usually finish all unless it's a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really nummy. All right, we
All
hope
right.
you enjoyed this episode, and we'll be back next week.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining.
Bye.